For many, we're into the most wonderful time of the year, filled with beautiful light displays, cooking, for large gatherings, cozy fires. But as we celebrate, it's important to remember to keep safety top of mind. To help with that, Halifax Regional Fire and Emergency has released 12 tips for the 12 days of fire safety. Here to tell us more is Fire Prevention Officer Chris Camp and Halifax Fire Public Education Specialist Brianna McClellan. Thank you both for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
I'm really excited to shine a spotlight on this. I'll start with you, Chris, that you're saying that you're getting a lot of calls this time of year.
We tend to see an increase in calls as it gets colder. People, of course, starting wood-burning appliances, increased draw on electrical systems for heating systems, things like that. And generally, it just picks up, quite honestly. Yeah.
Well, we want to make sure people stay safe. So, Brianna, why don't you start us off? Let's start with the first day of fire safety.
Yeah, so right now we just started day 11. I'm not going to go in any particular order,
okay.
But our day one was talking about holiday lights.
Okay, what about them?
So we want people to check them before they put them up. Make sure that they're rated, which means they're safety tested, so they can withstand the elements like snow, rain, wind, that kind of thing, for outdoor ones anyway.
Yeah.
Checking for frays, loose connections, anything like that before you put them up. And making sure you're putting them up with the clips, not staples, not nails, something that could, could damage them. Yeah.
Quick question, can you use outdoor lights inside?
Yeah, you could. A lot of them can be outdoor, indoor. You just read the box before you buy them.
But not indoor, outside.
Yeah, not indoor, outside. Yeah, because they're not made. And so, like I said, you're going to look for a special little label here, like CSA, for example, just saying that they're safety tested.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay, love that. Okay, I want to mention one. The real tree needs proper watering. I know this from experience. We put a real tree up. We filled the thing with water, a lot of water in there too, and the next day it was dry as a bone. So you really have to stay on that tree to keep it from drying out.
Yeah. So I would always ask a person in the family to be the designated, waterer for the Christmas tree. So making sure it has enough water every day, keeping it away from heat sources that will contribute to drying it out. So keep it away from the fireplace, the heaters, those types of things. And when you see those dropping needles, that's a good indication that it needs some more water.
Yeah. Chris, what do you want to add to this?
In the electrolyte situation, if you're having a light that's acting up and you can't seem to find the cause of it, pull it off the tree. That'd be a recommendation. There might be some kind of a short that you don't realize. They do tend to fray and sometimes get worn out. So
that's a great point. Yeah, because exactly. Should you leave the tree on with nobody in the room?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one. All right. What else?
So when it comes to kind of the heat sources, again, when it comes to space heaters, they're great. Many people will use them in their homes, but you should also unplug those when you leave the room, go to bed. A lot of people like to keep them plugged in when they're sleeping, but when you're sleeping, they're unattended. You might not be aware of something that might be happening. So always giving those space, as well as candles. We want to make sure that those have space as well. If you do choose to use a real candle, make sure it's a sturdy one that's not going to tip over. Keep kids and pets away from it, but even better, use a battery-operated one.
Yeah.
There's way less risk. They're still cozy. You can buy ones now that flicker, so they really imitate a real one. Great option. I have one here that you can look at. If that was to tip over on like a dinner table, for example, you could just pick it up. There would be no issue there.
Yeah, I actually found some that look really realistic, and they have a remote control.
Yeah.
So you could just put them on or even put the little timer on there.
Yeah.
They were really cheap, too.
Could I add something to the space heaters?
Please do.
Please plug them directly into the wall. Don't use an extension cord or a power bar because it'll overload it and it could short it out and cause a fire.
That is a great tip. I know that's one. I make sure in our household that that's the case too. We have a minute left. Let's focus on some of the other tips you want to get out there.
Yeah, so smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarm if your home needs it. You need to have one to protect you, but it needs to be working. So that means it needs to have batteries. It can't be expired, and it needs to be in the proper place. Sitting on the table or having it, on a shelf is not going to do its job. So making sure that it's working so you have that time to escape if there was an emergency is really important.
That's so important. Check those batteries, make sure they're working. That's a great point.
And to Brianna's point, if it's over 10 years old, it should be replaced because they have a shelf life. After that point in time, they're not as effective. So we want to make sure they're under 10 years old.
How can you tell how old your smoke alarm is?
Show you.
There should be a stamp on it, and I think Brianna's going to show you right
Yeah, so on the back, I know you're not going to be able to see it clearly, but there's going to be a date. That's the date that it's manufactured.
Yep.
So usually after it's installed 10 years from there. On the side here, there's even a sticker that says replaced by 2026.
Amazing.
So it's usually pretty easy. A lot of people don't know to look there. Maybe they're not aware, but it is there. So check your smoke alarms. Every month you should be checking it by pressing the test button as well, checking for those batteries, checking that the speaker works and that sort of thing.
Okay, wonderful. I'm a little disappointed we didn't sing this because it is the 12 days of fire safety, but other than
I'm
that,
not disappointed.
thank you both so much for coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Happy and safe holidays to you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
we put information on our website to make it easy for you to get more tips yourself to read. You know, take your time and really read these.